Okay, third and last video. We're starting with Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. This one came out last year in October and it's 470 pages. This one is a kind of a racial charged kind of book. The contents are: Ruth Jefferson is a labor and delivery nurse at a Connecticut hospital with more than 20 years experience. During her shift, Ruth begins a routine checkup on a newborn, only to be told a few minutes later that she's been reassigned to another patient. The parents are white supremacists and don't want Ruth, who is African American, to touch their child. The hospital complies with their request, but the next day the baby goes into cardiac distress while Ruth is alone in the nursery. Does she obey orders or does she intervene? Ruth hesitates before performing CPR and as a result is charged with a serious crime, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so I'm interested to read this one just because I want to see what Jodi Picoult actually does with this. Not that I'm a Jodi Picoult expert, because I'm not. I have not read any of her books. But I'm just interested to see what, where she's going to go with this. Because I know she's someone that when she writes a book, she writes it for a reason. So that is, she goes out and she does all the research and stuff so that everything appears to be as real as possible, even though it's fiction. So I don't know if that won't get picked, but I think if it does, we'll have a very good discussion. Next on the list, we have The Age of Innocence, and it's of course by Edith Wharton. It's a classic. Who doesn't want to read an Edith Wharton? Wharton was a great writer. I haven't read Age of Innocence, so that would be one up for me to finally read like an old classic. This book is, it says, the return of the beautiful Countess Olenska into the rigidly conventional society of New York sends reverberations throughout the upper reaches of society. Newland Archer, an eligible young man of the establishment, is about to announce his engagement to May Wieland, a pretty ingenue, when May's cousin Countess Olenska is introduced into their circle. Okay, so you pretty much know the story because I think it was done into a movie, a couple of movies actually. But yeah, it should be an interesting read, and I wouldn't mind reading it because I like Edith Wharton. Okay, next on the list we have In the Dark Room, and it is by Susan Faludi. So this is a nonfiction autobiographical memoir, and it was a Pulitzer Prize finalist. And this is a story, it says, when feminist writer Susan Faludi learned that her 76-year-old father, long estranged and living in Hungary, had undergone sex reassignment surgery. The revelation would launch her on an extraordinary inquiry into the meaning of identity in the modern world and in her own haunted family saga. Okay, so you see it's about sex reassignment, which I think it could be an interesting book to read. I think it was also a New York Times Book Review's 10 Best Book of the Year. So yeah, and since everybody wants to read memoirs and autobiographical stuff, this could be the book for us. So even if it doesn't get picked, I will surely read this one. Okay, next book on the list is Crossers by Philip Caputo. Now this is a thriller, mystery thriller type situation. And I don't know Philip Caputo because I'm not an expert on reading thrillers and mysteries, but this one sounds like it could be very interesting. It says, when Gil Castle loses his wife, he retreats to his family's sprawling homestead out west, a forsaken part of the country where drug lords have more power than police. Here, Castle begins to rebuild his life, even as he uncovers some dark truths about his fearsome grandfather. When a Mexican illegal shows up at the ranch, terrified after a border-crossing drug deal gone bad, Castle agrees to take him in. Yet his act of generosity sets off a flood of violence and vengeance, a fierce reminder we never truly escape our history. Okay, so you can see that's going to be extremely intense. Could be actually pretty good. It has 3.54 stars on Goodreads. So, it's a good book, but, not much. And I don't think anybody else I follow has actually read it. So, yeah. So, we'll see if that gets picked. I have no idea. Then we have Story of a Brief Marriage, and that is a historical fiction war story. It's like it's about Asian culture. It was shortlisted for the Dylan Thomas Prize. It says 2.5 decades into a devastating civil war, Sri Lanka's Tamil minority is pushed inexorably towards the coast by the advancing army. Amongst the evacuees is Dinesh, whose world has contracted to a makeshift camp where time is measured by the shells that fall around him like clockwork. Alienated from family, home, language, and body, he exists in a state of mute acceptance, numb to the violence around him, till he is approached one morning by an old man who makes an unexpected proposal that Dinesh marry his daughter Ganga. Okay, so you get an idea. Marriage in this world is an attempt at safety, like the beached fishing boat under which Dinesh huddles during the bombings. Okay, so you get an idea. We're going to have probably historical fiction based, but then also it might be more, I would say, more character based than plot based, the way it sounds. So that also could be an interesting novel. The author's name is Anouk Arupagasam. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but sounds like it could be very interesting. So that's that one. Next we have Ghost Moth, which is by Michelle Forbes. Another historical fiction, Irish literature. Again, here we have another Irish book. During the hot Irish summer of 1969, tensions rise in Belfast, where Catherine, a former actress, and George, a firefighter, struggle to keep buried secrets from destroying their marriage. In this emotionally acute debut novel, Michelle Forbes immerses the reader in a colorful tapestry of life. Okay, so here again, another one that could be very interesting depending on how it goes. It has 3.31 stars. Nobody that I know, or that I should I say that I follow on Goodreads, has actually read it though, that I trust. So I don't know. We'll see if that gets picked. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Then we have Academy Street by by Mary Costello. And this one it's blurred by J.M. Coetzee, so that's already a good sign. It says, Academy Street is a heartbreaking and evocative story of one woman's life spanning 6 decades. So, yeah, it's spanning 6 decades, but the book is not that long. I think it's like less than 200 pages. It's 179 pages, so that's some quick lifespan. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. But anyway, it has 3.69 stars on Goodreads. So if you've read it and you think I should read it, drop me a line below and let me know, because I don't really know. All right. Then we have The Girl on the Train. I'm not spending any time talking about that. You already know about The Girl on the Train. You don't need me to tell you about that. I already did. I think I did a review on that. You can look in my old videos. I think I did a review on it because I listened to it on audio. Have I read the new one, Into the Water? No. Am I going to read it? No. All right. Next book. You don't need me to talk about this one either. This is The Jacket, because I lent the book to a friend. It's Homegoing Ya Jasi. All right. You know, I don't need to say anything else. You know about that. Here's another one that's on the list that I don't need to tell you anything about. It's a classic. Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury. I think when I started doing BookTube, I started reading this and wound up leaving it at a friend's house in the middle of reading it. And then when I got it back, I didn't finish reading it. So maybe I'll finally finish reading this one. And then last but not least, Dave Eggers' The Circle is also on this list. I'm not really sure about this one. I own it. I will probably read it, you know, before if it gets chosen on the list. I'll probably read it before. I don't know. I hear very mixed reviews about this particular novel. People go from saying, yeah, it's really, really good, to nah, meh. They thought that it could have gone further. But the story says a circle run out of a sprawling California campus links users' personal email, social media, banking, and purchasing with a universal operating system, resulting in one online identity and a new age of civility and transparency. As May tours the open plan office spaces, the towering glass dining facilities, the cozy dorms for those who spend nights at work, she is thrilled with the company's modernity and activity. There are parties that last through the night. There are famous musicians playing on the lawn. There are athletic activities and clubs and brunches, and even an aquarium of rare fish retrieved from the Marianas Trench by the CEO. La 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 la. Okay, so you see, it's sort of like a, you know, like a Google gone bad kind of situation. So that's on the list as well. So will it get picked? I don't know, but you see, I own it, so I'm gonna read it. So that's all. If you have any questions, or if there are any of these books that you want to suggest that I, you know, vote for, then yeah, I say tell me below, because there's some books I know that I won't vote for, but in general, I can only vote for 7. So this is turning into a hard decision for me. So if you'd like to help me try to figure out what, you know, tell me what you would have picked. At least tell me 1 or 2 of that you absolutely would pick, to try to help me try to pick the right one. Okay? So that's all I have for you today. I will be back probably with a review, because I will probably be finishing 1 book this weekend if possible, and I will be back to review it and get back into the swing. So have a great weekend, and I wish you lots of good reading. Bye.